It currently costs over £800 million to bring a drug to market. So given this, how do you cure a disease with just £5 million? My name is Matt Haugh, and I did my ASI, or this is the topic I tackled during my ASI fellowship project at Parkinsons UK. So Parkinson's disease is a degenerative disease of the central nervous system, and it currently affects over 1% of the population over the age of 60. And while people can live very full lives post-diagnosis, it has some very serious long-term consequences, and there's currently no known cure. So with this in mind, Parkinsons UK has an annual budget of £5 million with which to fund research with the aim of finding a cure. And given that this is a relatively small amount of money, it's vitally important that they only fund the best research. And the person that's tasked with making sure that this is the case is the grants officer. So typically when a funding call closes, the grants officer needs to assess the quality of all the research that's been submitted. And the way they do this is by using a process known as peer review. So during this process, the grant officer assembles a panel of 3 experts per an application who then judge the quality of the research. And the decision to accept or reject each proposal is predominantly based on the opinions of these experts. So it's really important that the best people are chosen for this job. However, this is not a trivial task. So for starters, each proposal needs to be matched with experts that have really strong knowledge in the specific niche topic that the proposal covers. And this means that the grants officer needs to have a good overview of all the research activity in the area of Parkinson's. However, this is not a trivial task. So to give you some context, Parkinson's disease is a really active area of research. Within the last 10 years, there's been 40,000 manuscripts published. And within the last year alone, there's been over 6,000 manuscripts published. So it's simply not possible for one person to keep up with all the work in this area. Secondly, the grants officer needs to ensure that conflicts of interest due to some of the experts working with the applicant don't arise. And while we can understand these types of co-author relationships quite easily when it's a small group, so here we have the authors indicated by circles and co-authorship indicated by the lines linking them. When we visualize this across the whole field, it becomes very apparent that this is non-trivial. And actually, just to hammer this home, this is only 2% of the researchers work in the field. So it's beyond 50 times more complicated. So I think you can see from these 2 issues that this is a very time-consuming task, and it's not something that's easy to do. And because of this, there's a tendency for grants officers to use a smaller pool of reviewers with which they are actually very familiar. However, overuse of these reviewers can lead to what's known as reviewer fatigue. And in this case, the reviewers often turn down applications to join the panels because they get them at a very high frequency. This causes further delay in actually vetting the research and can impact the quality of the process. So I think from what I've just discussed there, we can get the idea that really the root of these problems is a data volume issue. And one of the things that AI is really good at is tackling these types of problems. So with this in mind, we developed the following algorithm. So our algorithm takes in the text of the proposal and then matches it to similar research from a database of 40,000 manuscripts that we've built. And then from these matched research projects, we take the authors and then filter them to remove conflicts of interest, either through co-authorship or working in the same institute as the applicant. And then the end result is a sorted list of experts which are ranked by the similarity of their own work to the proposal. But how do we actually compare the similarity of the proposal to the research in our database? So we used a natural language processing algorithm which automatically learns the topics and their associated keywords from our database of 40,000 manuscripts. And so when we feed it a new abstract like this one here, the algorithm picks out the keywords and then uses this information to score the abstract across the topics that it's determined. And this produces a signature like the one you can see here on the left-hand side of the slide. And these signatures are really, really useful. They allow us to compare the similarity of research. So we can take the proposal, compare it to some of the abstract or some of the manuscripts in our database, and then select the ones that present a very similar signature, and then remove the ones that don't. And so the end result is that the grants officer sees something like this now. So we've published this model as an app deployed this model as an app on Sherlock. And what the app provides is an interactive and downloadable list of experts. And so this has already been used by Parkinsons UK in the recent funding call. And we've had a bit of an impact. We estimate that it's half the amount of time required to assemble these panels. And interestingly, it's also widened the pool of reviewers available to Parkinsons UK. So 30% of the recommendations weren't previously used by Parkinson's on peer-reviewed panels. And so to summarize, we've developed an AI tool that enables Parkinsons UK to more effectively fund the best research. Thank you very much.